Good evening. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Big Cheds coming to you live. I'm joined by the one and the only Big Chonis. How are you, buddy?
Hey, Cheds. Good evening. Thank you for having me tonight. How's it going, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Yeah.
I've been trying to enjoy this lovely day today, but this price action in Bitcoin and crypto in general has kept me inside. So
hmm
I'm excited to be talking here with you, and it's been a while. But God, there's so much to kind of catch up on and talk about. So thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Big Chonis, of course, you can find him on Twitter at Big Chonis. He does some great work. He provides a unique perspective on the chart. Of course, you can find me on Twitter at Big Cheds. Just real quick, we're not advisors. We're just a couple of friends. We'd like to talk crypto. And so Big Jonas, we had a little bit of a paradigm shift here in the last 24, 48 hours. We were really in a period of absolute despair. You mentioned that I might have marked a sentiment bottom, with that tweet I put out saying how the Bitcoin daily chart almost looked like a penny stock pump and dump, right? And like that moment of despair, right? Look at this support break right here. Look what just happened, right? We look at this right here, boom, support break, okay? So that we're talking, you know what I mean? People are seeing this, they're panicking, and then we had this news. What is some news about a securities that's kind of changing the landscape, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to just head back to that moment, kind of in the chart where you
Here
were,
we go, right there. Crypto markets rebound after news that SEC will not consider Ethereum a security. So what were we saying? Is it oh wow, what a miracle, right? Praise whatever deity you want that you got the right news at the right time.
the timing of the news was definitely very, let's say, suspect, if you will. Regardless, though, you brought up the tweet. You said that basically the chart looks similar to historical other charts we had seen in our trading past, where we had seen kind of parabolic moves unwind, correct, if you will, over time, and kind of seeing how much a if you will, pump and dump scheme, or pump and dump, let's say, push in a chart, had kind of played out, and then how it kind of unwinds. So there are definitely parallels to that. Emotion plays a large part in how we trade, how we see what we want to see in our charts, and actually how we, follow through on what we think are, positive trading moves. So
Check
when
it
that
out.
emotional kind of moment happens,
Right there. Those are you saw who this tweet from I Go So Damn Ham. Look, we know these plays, right? MX, OWCP, look at that, OTTV, look at that. Compare this to Bitcoin now.
these are parabolic moves that have unwound and literally come back 90+% in terms of their
Right.
price action from their
But
peak.
this is a
And
good
these
spot
are,
to bounce, right? Well, I mean, maybe it can go back, but this is a lot of unwinding, right? We've unwound quite a bit, right?
you have to keep the timing in perspective. So
Yep.
yes, once we got over $1,000 on the price of Bitcoin, it took months to get to 20,000, but it took years to get back to 1,000. So we think in the kind of short term that a Bitcoin price of 7,000, 6,000, 5,000 seems cheap compared to where it had peaked at 20,000, 17,000, 15,000. But in retrospect, the life of Bitcoin over 1,000 is quite small in terms of history, and the downward pressure still continues because of
However,
that.
wait, but you have to weight your history to volume history. It's not like a calendar history. It's where the volume was, and that's what matters. So if all the volume was over 1,000, I don't care what was below 1,000. Just to counter your point a little bit. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm not saying you're right or wrong. I mean, I don't care about time. I care about volume. What's the fingerprint show me? Like, what is the impression in the sand? You see what I'm saying?
And I'm seeing in the volume, and all right, so you mentioned volume. What you're really saying is money flow, right? When are the big money bucks going to start flowing into crypto because they feel like it's a good bargain price? And frankly, I mean, we just broke $100 on Litecoin. We're
Yeah.
hovering the
Let's
mid
talk about
sixes on
Litecoin.
Bitcoin.
Let's talk about Litecoin.
These are prices here which don't say, oh, this is a good value, compared to where we were. But geez, maybe I want to wait because I know this is going to go lower. So you, Cheds, have talked a lot about know what kind of trader you are, know what your expectations are.
Well,
So
what are your
there's a lot of
expectations? What are your
well,
expectations?
all right. So there's opportunities every
Look at
day.
this. Look at this. This is ridiculous. Look. I mean, come on.
What are you showing me here?
It's just such a logical. It's such a logical support area. Look at that. It's like that.
Well,
it's
is
like
it
that
holding
prior.
though? Is it
This
holding?
was the last. But look at this. This was the last resistance area, and look how much volume we transacted in this area from like November, like it was Thanksgiving. Right here, we're pretty much back to Thanksgiving, like that. Of course, that's the bottom, temporarily. No.
The bottom of what?
Of this channel, of a channel, of a trade, of something worth talking about, right?
How many people entered? I mean, how many people bought? All right, so I put a poll out a week ago about when was your first Litecoin, your very first purchase of Litecoin US dollars.
Oh, what was my?
And like 60% were over $100.
Dude.
I mean,
dude.
I was surprised at that because let me explain.
Go ahead.
All right, so when there's a parabolic move, and then when the price corrects from that parabolic move, what you're taking out of the market are the speculators, the quick money flippers, and then eventually you get down to a point where the smart money, the early money, that money actually has to come out of the market. So we are now, in this area here where we're sub 100, we are lower than most people ever knew Litecoin because there was such an impulse spike in late November, December area of a mass influx of money. We have friends that we've talked to that are bumfuzzled that their original Litecoin purchase of the high 100s back in December, January, or even over 200, they don't understand why it wasn't able to keep rising and rising. This is a paradigm shift, and now $100 in Litecoin is coming to continue to be, as the days progress, if we're unable to break above and hold, a significant resistance point for potentially some time.
Now, what I hear is you're trying to create a self-fulfilling prophecy because you told me earlier 98 was resistance, and we're at like 102, 103. So if a level is constantly broken and then held and broken, it's not a serious level, okay? And it doesn't just become one because let's all make 100 a serious support or resistance. You know what I'm saying?
That's a great rebuttal, and I have an answer for that. And you're right. You're right. I mean, 100. It's almost like a heart attack. Like, oh my God, we're under 100. So 90 something, 89, where we actually
there's no
potentially.
There's no way this stays under 100. I don't think so. I'm just gonna. I'm gonna go out on a limb. Look at this. I'm just gonna go out on a limb. There's no way. I mean, but I mean that. I mean, like, over a month or two. I mean, it can dip, but it's not. It's gonna come back over 100. You see what I'm saying?
I don't, because the sentiment, it's like you broke my heart, Litecoin.
I don't know.
Broken 100.
I don't know. You got
the moment
out
where
there. I don't know, buddy. All right, go ahead. You go ahead.
This could be the moment where if people were, I mean, again, maybe. A lot of people could be closing into a break-even standpoint where people and me myself
no
took
way.
a larger
There's
position.
Absolutely no way there's absolutely no way this breaks. Look at this.
Me myself took a larger position in the 70s to 90s. So there's nothing that says we can break this lower.
I'm telling you, there's absolutely no way this breaks.
How far back are you, though? How far back are you? You're months back. That's a short period of time.
What? How can a month is a long period of time? Short's like 15 minutes.
Not after this parabolic move.
All right, let's go to Ethereum. Let's go to Ethereum, okay?
Ethereum. Now, here's what you brought up in the news article, because that was basically based on Ethereum.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I wanted to point out this poll, right? Check it out. Look at this. Over exuberance. End of year, almost half thought Litecoin would be over 500.
Sure.
Isn't that crazy? All right, so go ahead. So just to get that.
It's not, and that poll represents what? Market sentiment back on March 8th, 2018.
Yes.
What was the price of Bitcoin back then? What was the value of the crypto market? Was several $100 billion is less currently today than
Where'd
when
that
you
money
put that
go?
poll out.
Where did that money go?
That money was cashed out and probably put back on the NASDAQ And here's another thing that you just brought up there,
Yeah.
because where did that money go? Uh, Money needs to flow into crypto and not flow out. There's ICOs, there's new coins coming on the market every day. And what's happening is there's been dilution of the money. I want to be investor in crypto, but I'm not buying tokens. I want to be in the next thing before it happens. So the ICOs are sucking money away from current coins that have already ICO'd and actually want to build on their platform they basically ICO'd based on.
Oh,
And that's draining money from the market.
that's a great point. Did you see that? You saw that tweet I had that from Figs had that site where like you enter your altcoin and it will tell you if it's like a bad coin or not. It was super funny. It was like hold this or sell that. It's a shit coin. It was just really funny how they did it.
There's a situation now where, I mean, watch these alts and how they respond to Bitcoin. Winners and losers are going to be chosen over
Yep.
these next several months
Yep.
based on what can survive on these exchanges. You'll kind of see exchanges start to drop coins as liquidity in their markets dry up.
Yep.
This is a bullish thing, though, for the overall crypto market. We have to get rid of these shitcoins, as you said,
Yep.
to begin to kind of consolidate and build a newer base for the next bull run.
So let's just give these guys. Let's give the TA here, Big Chonis. So I'm just pulling Ethereum daily chart. I mean, we're looking here. It's a pretty nice little frame we're looking at, right? So obviously, still looks pretty good to me. Obviously, look at the on-balance volume is healthy. You've given up all these gains, and look how that stayed there. It's almost a bullish divergence.
So Bitcoin and Litecoin have kind of gone in lockstep, and then Ethereum and Bitcoin Cash have kind of gone in lockstep, where they've been a little more bullish and have a higher RSI value, have held a higher low on their pullback, right? So these are two kind of positive things that, from a percentage standpoint, Ether is definitely still holding its own and then some compared to Bitcoin. However, this SEC news, which you pulled up, which is really kind of, I don't know if it's like the news we've been waiting for. It doesn't feel like it, but definitely is kind of playing a scenario where the Ethereum token itself is less of a security than the offshoots. And that should be bullish for Ethereum. It should be a positive longer term news story for Ethereum.
Well, this is good
and
for
yet,
Momo. This is good for a little bit. It's like
Sure.
It's like when you're you're down. You're in the ninth inning. And you get like a guy on base. You get like a runner on base, right, with a walk or something.
And there's hope. For a run, right? Yeah, absolutely. So I want to see more bullish divergence.
Well, what
on Ether
what do
to
you
Bitcoin.
see? So what do you see in Ether? What are you seeing here?
It's what I'm not seeing. I'm not seeing the continuation. The next green dildo, if you will, I'm sorry, candle, which is going to take this news and say this is legit. And I want to test the middle Bollinger right there.
Yeah, see
I
the
want to
middle.
test the daily middle Bollinger.
Oh, the daily, yeah.
Because that was support-ish, resistance-ish.
But look at that. Look at it. Now this is I think you can mention it here. You've got like 10 contact points, right? So but clearly, look, what I would note. See this volume candle right here? That's some pretty good volume right there.
That's beautiful.
So that shows there's some buy pressure. You do have a nice, it's not really a hammer. I don't know if the wick is long enough, but it is a nice candle. You show that the bulls were able to reverse the trend a little bit. And this is a bullish engulfing candle. So we have some nice volume. Litecoin, Bitcoin. So what do you want to take? Should we do like EOS? Let's do EOS.
Real quick on the chart. Okay.
Go ahead.
EOS. No, EOS is fine. Let's stick with EOS. All right. So it's funny. Is EOS like the kind of the cousin that just happens to be like living with the main family? I mean,
I don't know.
It just feels like EOS is becoming kind of like one of the mini majors, if you will.
Yeah,
is that happening now?
Yeah, it's one of the most, has the most volume. It's always the most traded. Like if we go to Binance.
Right. Yep.
EOS, look at that, boom.
It has to be acknowledged.
So I mean, what are we doing here for not acknowledging it? So we've got some nice buy pressure. It's a 3 inside up, but you could still. It's not really super impressive yet. You could essentially imagine almost a head and shoulders top here. If it's unable to, if it's unable to break it, but you do have the crossing here. This is all okay. This is whatever. Um, so it's okay. You need a little bit more. This is like,
Well, I think you said it yourself. It's like the pattern is not played out yet.
yeah.
It could be definitely setting up a potential head and shoulders, and you're right, but it's a shallow one,
Or you
and it's.
also, it's equilibrium too, though. So
Hmm.
you've got you have your lower high, you have your lower high, you have
Hmm.
your higher low, and you're gonna have a break right here. So potentially you'll see some type of, you know what I mean, some type of a decision point there.
It's a healthy chart that has to be acknowledged. It
Hmm.
also is kind of the thing it's it's fighting Ethereum. It's
Hmm.
it's 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 trying to establish itself as potentially the better Ethereum, scaling and all the other stuff.
Yeah.
So it's going to play out through the summer where it's wants to be a player, and I don't know. It had a really super bullish run because of the news of its mainnet going online.
Hmm.
We're consolidating from that still. A lot can still be said in this chart. There's no definitive thing that says this can move higher. I almost feel like because of its larger parabolic move that it has not fully corrected from yet, I feel there could be still more downward pressure as Bitcoin still controls the show.
Okay. Why don't you pick one? What do you want to look at? I know you kind of scan different coins and tokens than I do.
Well, so all right. So before we take on a couple alts, if you don't mind, Cheds,
Yeah.
um, I try and look at the Bitcoin longs and shorts, and I try and get kind of a sense of, this is like where the gamblers come to bet on the futures of where they feel the price action is going to go. So there are scenarios where.
Okay. Big Chonis, we just had you drop out for a moment, and while we are waiting for you to return, I am going to scroll down and let's take a look at Neo. And let's go to the daily chart.
Market kind of seems to correct.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah.
Hold on, we lost you for the last 20 seconds. You want to gather those thoughts
Oh.
again?
Um, Crap. Okay, so I was talking about how equilibrium in the longs and the shorts,
Okay,
and
sure.
basically,
Sure.
okay. So sorry. So not sure what happened there, but that when one gets too overextended from another, like if the longs get too overextended or if the shorts get too overextended, there
Hmm.
normally tends to be kind of that snapback equilibrium move. So I'm keeping an eye on things. If we could possibly go to the Bitcoin shorts, or sorry, longs. We'll stay with the longs here because you guys are up there, and this is a kind of a measure of conviction. You want to have an understanding about like what is the market saying about holding Bitcoin long term. And this chart isn't capitulation by any means, but it surely is not confidence. Is that how you might see it?
The longs chart?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's just deciding, is what I see. It's deciding. You clearly appear to have lost your highs here. So you're working with a lower high now. The only question is, it could be kind of a triangle consolidation, almost a symmetrical triangle. So you got to kind of see what it does here. Obviously, you have your tight range as
Do you
well.
think
Hmm.
do you think a big catalyst and from like a longer term perspective is you see that big dip we had back in May,
Hmm.
with the 1st of May, and then we were actually able to recover that pretty quickly. A little May, yeah, right there, yeah, and how we were able to recover very quickly. I think a retest of that area would be really scary from a longer term perspective.
Yeah, I mean, you could also argue though you have an inverse head and shoulders. I mean, if you're looking at kind of, even though it's a daily, it's not like a super long time frame. You could say
Hmm.
like, we're kind of like
At
neckline,
the neckline, yeah, at the
or like
neckline, yeah.
whatever. I mean, okay, So what do
So
you?
just
Yeah.
watch the neckline on
Hmm.
a bullish break, basically.
What about shorts?
So shorts is interesting because this is where I'm watching. And I actually put a few tweets out about how there was a gap that
Ah.
needed to be filled somewhere above 34,000.
Oh.
And I mean, we talk about chart patterns. I mean, a cup and handle. I mean, I don't know if it's kind of it kind of looks like a cup and handle. I mean, let's acknowledge that. Are we putting in a handle right now? Are we putting in this pattern here where we are down and then basically going to spike up. Now, a spike up in the shorts is a decreasing price in Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm. A
Are you
spike up in the
seeing?
shorts. There's 3 inside down. So just pointing it out for fun for people who like to learn those patterns. So I mean, yeah, I mean, it looks a little overextended. You look where there's a little area of traffic, but you've beat your you've broken it. But
Look
now,
how high the RSI got on the daily there. I
yeah, it's
mean,
crazy.
it needed to correct, but look how it didn't capitulate.
Dude, you know what they knew? They knew the news was coming. They started covering a little bit before maybe because like this slowed down yesterday, but didn't that news just hit today? Right?
Was that Soros?
No, the
Soros knew?
news about what?
You said they knew. Like, who's they?
The money that controls the market. There's always a head start on the average folks. What are you talking about?
Well, you said they. I want specifics. Who are they?
If I knew who they were, would I be talking to you? I'd be talking to them.
All right. So
All right,
yes.
you pick one. Let's get back to the topic here. Let's get some coins, some charts done so we can move along, okay?
All right. Well, listen. We have to not. We did Bitcoin. We did Litecoin Ethereum.
Yeah.
Let's finish up with Bitcoin Cash or Bitcoin Prime Core. Is that what the core? The actual Bitcoin. Is that what Burr says?
A hard pass.
Hard pass course.
Hard pass. Next request.
Oh, you're filibustering that one?
Yeah, I can't support the way they market it. It's just I can't chart it.
All right, let's do XV. All right, hold on. Let's see. All right, let's do some. Let's look at the Binance market cap and let's look at the volume ones other than EOS.
Okay.
And the big ones there, and let's pick one of those bigger volume coins.
ICX.
Let's do it.
So ICX daily chart. Yeah, some nice little volume here. It's a decent volume. Although we had, somewhat similar volume back here, and this was the result, just a little move, ran into trouble here at this prior area. So, I mean, that right there is a tough level to break. We've got right here pretty much is your resistance. You can see with the volume by price. But this is a bullish engulfing candle. This is the nice follow through. We're early in the day here. You could, in theory, form three white soldiers, Big Chonis, potentially.
I think your resistance line that you drew there is really strong now. We put in that lower low there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And even though we're having kind of a little snapback from an oversold perspective, I don't know if it can break through that resistance line. That feels strong now from how much history it took to now get under it.
You know how Elliott wave guys like to draw it? I'm just going to Elliott wave myself to a inverted head and shoulders here, right?
Don't hate.
See? All right, so what's all right, let's take a look here. ADA? I'll do TRX. I won't skip it, but I'll just hit ADA.
Okay.
ADA. Yeah, actually this is kind of interesting. I like this. This is a hammer. And it's at a hammer at a logical support area. This is our logical prior support area where we formed this candle. Not a surprise. Okay follow through. The volume is good. You didn't gain a lot in price, which is okay. Crossing buy signal. And you have almost a OBV double bottom here. Mini double bottom. Uptrending RSI. What do you think?
I mean, we even though it was a wick, we did put in a lower low.
Mm-hmm.
I like the snapback.
We did? Lower low for a wick. Oh, sorry. So yeah, not candle body.
Not candle body, but the wick did put in a lower low.
Okay.
So I want to acknowledge that. And I almost feel like because of that, now that 3,000 area almost becomes more of a super hard resistance point.
3,000.
If we can even get back up there.
Oh, that's a lot. That's a lot from here to there. I guess if you're a trader, if you're long, whatever. Yeah, you're right there. You got to keep an eye on that. Maybe even right there. Yep.
I like the cross though on the daily stock. That's encouraging, right?
Bullish cross. Yes. Some of it might be factored in though by today's candle. You have to be careful because there's only a couple hours. So you gotta wait. But it's heading in that direction clearly. Although, look at that upper wick. We almost missed it. Look at that, Big Chonis.
Hey, look at
So
the middle
yeah.
Bollinger acted as strong
So
resistance there.
if I hadn't, I thought it was just a small body, a small range. I didn't see that wick. That suggests to me, okay. So this shows that the bears took over a little bit once it started to move.
Mm-hmm.
When it ran into trouble right here, right where you have all this prior volume.
Mm.
Excuse me. Pardon me,
Your
folks.
excuse?
I forgot I have a mute button, not a mutant, a mute button. TRX. TRX is 692. So it looks, I mean, look at this. You just look at it and you're like, oh, it's dipped. You could just see, easily, you could see, like, you see what I'm saying? Like, that just
Mm-hmm.
jumps right out. And you've got this support area here. So look at that. Ooh, I just randomly clicked here and randomly, but look, that's where it hit, right?
And let's see, that sign said the chart's still in play because we are
Mm-hmm.
holding historic levels where we want to bounce from.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I basically have us in this kind of lower trend support line. We have held it, and this is kind of a make or break area for TRX. You know, there's a lot of following. People really are into this coin. They want it to be part of the next future wave. There's a lot of supply out there. This is a big uh, market supply of
Mm-hmm.
coin. There's a lot of Tron out there. But this area, we need to establish this moment, this bounce here as a firm bottom. If we break this area here, there's so much more in play. And again, you know, we talk about how Bitcoin runs the show, the alts follow. I'm constantly looking for alts that are diverging bullishly if from a declining Bitcoin. These will show you which alts will be stronger when
Mm-hmm.
the market turns in the long run, potentially.
That sounds like a really bad soap opera, like When the Market Turns.
I watch it every day, Chad. I watch it every
Dude,
day.
I swear you would watch it and you'd be like, did you see what Billy Joe said? Okay,
Let's do See It Coin SC. That
that's
had a good day today,
okay,
or the past
okay,
few days.
okay. What, why
I know
don't you why don't
people.
you why don't you take us through it?
Yeah, this is one of those. It's a kind of a culty coin. I'm pretty sure it's a privacy based coin here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, it's one of those coins that had a great parabolic move in late December because of its USD. It's worth pennies. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so it was one of those coins people thought was cheap and
Mm-hmm.
basically allowed it to go parabolic more than others based on its from a dollar standpoint, it was sub $1.
Mm-hmm.
It was sub penny for a while. So it is one of those coins that will be a player, I feel, in that next run. So even at around 200 Satoshi, if you have to think about, wow, this was like 46 Satoshi. Like this was like super crazy low back last year, and now we're holding at 200 plus. So part of that is okay, the upward trend is holding. This is positive. This is building momentum. A nasty long wick was put in on the previous day's candle. Now we're kind of still consolidating from that. The wick is discouraging, and this kind of goes with all the alts where they did not follow through the rest of yesterday's candle, and even now they're not following through with any bullishness. So I kind of feel a lot of these alts are kind of running in tandem with this kind of weakish momentum drain of what we're just seeing as Bitcoin goes into this day's candle.
This is actually I actually kind of like this risk reward picture. Look at
Mm.
that. Did you notice we're just bouncing off the lower trend line?
It
And
held. It held.
it held, and you could see there's like almost no volume, but there you go. There's some volume.
Mm.
Although here you don't really see any volume, so this you can't really put much stock into that, I guess. So this could just be coincidental, but anywho, let's go to Ethereum Classic because I just had that next. Go ahead.
Yeah, this was all right. Listen, this was kind of news before the news. So Coinbase put out news that they said Ethereum Classic, for some reason, is going to be potentially their next offered token to trade on their GDAX or their Coinbase Pro exchange. This is this is actually huge news because
Mm-hmm.
it's all about access. And a majority of people, mostly in the United States of America, only use GDAX or Coinbase and only have currently four options, Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash. A fifth option of Ethereum Classic at what is the USD price of ETC, USSD? It's not. I'm typing in the wrong keyboard here. This is one of those moments there where Litecoin seemed so cheap, so it was kind of the most parabolic in that moment there. Ethereum Classic could be one of those things at 13. It's $14 right now USD. So if you show a $14 product on GDAX, so when it shows up on GDAX, that's going to be a crazy moment.
I know.
We saw it with Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash, if you will, IPO'd, if you will, on GDAX. I saw it live. IPO'd at like 5,000.
Yep.
It instantly went to like $9,000 for like a minute or two before GDAX completely crashed, and then went on for like back to 4,000, and then 3, 2, 1, $600, and then basically had its little run to 1,400 and change. Ethereum Classic, when they finally launch it, it's going to have some crazy volume and volatility. The question is, can it be bought for cheaper than it currently is now? This is a coin that I don't care what the past has been with this coin. It's been invited to the big boys table. And you have to keep an eye on this one, because with the exposure to a certain group of people in the United States now having a fifth option on GDAX, this is big news. And this is one that is going to be talked about and going to be a player as crypto and as the summer and into the fall moves on.
Yeah, I agree. I think the chart it shows it had a big move and it's giving it back and it's consolidating. I think knowing the news, you can look at the chart with a little more confidence, knowing what's coming down the road. So I agree mostly with what you've said.
It adds a legitimacy that was clearly not there with the coin originally. But you have to ask yourself, all right, Ethereum Classic was an offshoot of Ethereum. There's a Litecoin or a lighter coin or Litecoin Classic. Bitcoin has 4 or 5 Bitcoin offshoots. What is the viability of these forks going forward, and what other coins will fork going forward and spread it out? So these are things that, as the market kind of plays out here, and I just want to wrap, if I can, with one thing about how the summertime there's a saying in the stock market, like sell in May and go away. And there's a reason for that, is because most volatility does not happen in the summer months. Volatility tends to come back in September and October, when most traders come back from their Hamptons vacation and decide to move some money around. So I don't believe that crypto will be any different this summer. So a lot of nice bounces, unfortunately, will probably be sold into. That's with the big players as well as the alt as a whole. And if you just kind of play it cool, play it smart, and play it conservative and get through the summer, I guarantee this fall is going to be massively unbelievable for cryptocurrency, with money flow, volatility, and legitimacy that we had never seen ever before. And that's why long term, I'm always going to be bullish on Bitcoin and crypto. And short term, I'm just playing smart and cool and just riding it through the summer and trying to get sleep and work on my garden and grill some meats and enjoy myself as this plays out. Chance?
I like it, man. That sounds like a book. You should write a book about that.
Hell yeah.
So once again, folks, if you want to follow my friend, he is on Twitter at Big Chonis. Big Chonis. That's my good buddy. I am on Twitter at Big Cheds. Just want to tell you guys briefly, if you are interested, Bitcoin Live is up and running. It is an amazing, awesome experience. The founder sale is over. So everybody who is a founder, welcome on board. And we now are offering some new monthly packages as well. So definitely take a look at that. We have a great new teacher, Mark Dukas. He has a lot of experience, and we're just really honored to have him join the team. I'm working with some great folks here, and what we're doing is we're putting out a lot of more detailed kind of premium analysis. We're putting out different learning guides, really trying to share wisdom and make it the best in-class educational platform. Each of the teachers, we have our own videos that you can review, and you get access to all of our material in one place where we're all working together, trying to really make it a great environment to learn, how to trade and invest crypto, in general. And we are happy to have you join us. Just check out bitcoin.live. And if you have any questions, please reach out to me. And I'm on Twitter at Big Cheds. I'm glad you guys joined us today. It was really an honor. And hopefully we will be able to put another show on for you guys soon enough. All right, then. Take care.